Recording in progress.
Good morning, beautiful friends. Looks like that's working. Yep. Well, good morning. Station identification. This is Robert Beatty, or so we believe. A temporary flash in the human pen. I am sitting in a place called Portland, Oregon. With a very slight but real anxiety that today might be the day of the really big one. This is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. This is a place where we attempt and succeed at developing mindfulness. And along with that, compassion and kindness. And move in the direction of deeper and deeper caring about each other and the world. Oops, there's people trapped out in the waiting room. I thought I'd turn that off. Let's go back and turn that off. Oh, it is off. Huh. That seems weird. That is weird. Well, I have an interesting little reading for us this morning. I haven't read the book. Jen's been reading me little pieces of it. It's a novel called The Humans by Matt Haig. And I don't know where he comes from or any of that backstory, but it's the story of a being who takes on a human body and then describes what it's like to be in a human body, and what humans are like from a very interesting perspective. And it points out the reality of, in a certain way, the dukkha of the morning. So just read this little couple of paragraphs. The real difficulty for me was mornings. Mornings were hard on earth. You woke up more tired than when you went to sleep. Your back ached. Your neck ached. Your chest felt tight with anxiety that came from being mortal. And then on top of that, you had to do so much before the day even started. The main problem was the stuff to do in order to be presentable. Humans, male and female, typically have to do the following things. They will get out of bed, sigh, stretch, go to the toilet, shower, shampoo their hair, condition their hair, wash their face, shave, deodorize, brush their teeth with fluoride, dry their hair, brush their hair, put on face cream, apply makeup, check everything in the mirror, choose clothes based on the weather and the situation, put on those clothes, check everything again in the mirror, and that's just what happens before breakfast. It's a wonder they get out of bed at all, but they do repeatedly, thousands of times each. And not only that, they do it by themselves, with no technology to help them. Maybe a little electrical activity in their toothbrushes and hair dryers desires, but nothing more than that. And all this to reduce body odor and hairs and halitosis and shame. Oh dear. Funny. I'm going to read this when Jen is finished. Feels a bit strange to have an actual book in my hands. I read on my iPad all the time. So. My right eye hurts. I have dry eye syndrome, and I keep it under control. I work at it hard. But every now and then it just gets yucky, and so it's it feels like there's sand in it. I have drops. I have a lot of different things. After the broadcast, I will go and soak it with hot water and a face cloth, and that'll make a difference. It's an age-related phenomenon. So we have another whole day to be mindful. I am going to invite us to remember the refuges. I take refuge. I take refuge in the Buddha. There's a story about refuge. What does refuge mean? Well, a long time ago, I was with my children, who were 4 and 7.5, and their mother was with us. We went to Enterprise, Oregon, where we rented two llamas, yamas, to carry some of our weight, and we went into the Wallowas. Beautiful mountain range. We went in there for 10 days. And on day 2, going up Hurricane Creek. Beautiful place. And all of a sudden the temperature dropped. And it was clear to me that there was a storm coming over the mountain. And it was coming fast. And I've been in the mountains before when the temperature dropped and we suddenly had 6 inches of snow. And so it's the mountains. And I looked at my map, and there was a little cabin. They called it historical cabin. Historic cabin. About half a mile up the path. And suddenly it was going to rain hard, fast. Maybe snow. And I had a choice to make, and it really was my choice to make because I was the one really expert in mountaineering. And I decided we'd be safer to make a run for the cabin than to try to just bivouac under a tree somewhere, pull out the tent and pull it over. So we raced for the cabin, and we got there just as all hell broke loose. And I tied up the llamas and got everybody inside this broken down cabin. It did have a roof, sort of. There was areas where there were holes. Got them in there, set up the tent in there. And then went out in the hail and rain and so on, and got the llamas taken care of. And then I made hot chocolate for everybody. That was refuge. We took refuge from a storm. It could have been very dangerous to be out in that. Out sound Canadian. So whenever I speak about the refuges, I have in mind that for myself. That to take refuge is really, it's such a relief. It's like okay, here it may not have all the comforts of home, but it really is a place where I can rest and be safe. And that's the refuges. A way to think of the refuges in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Have you noticed there are storms in life? There are storms in life. There's absolutely no predicting when the next one will come over the ridge. I take refuge. in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way I understand love. Namo Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangha, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. Well. And so it's now. That's now, and we are here. If we went into memory, we could say we are here again.
Whiskey. Let's go.
With comforting regularity. The breath comes and goes. And it provides the anchor. At least it provides the regular object of observation. There is breathing in. There is breathing out. And it breathes all by itself. Of course, there's more to life than the body breathing. There's all the other life in the body. The tinglings and vibratings, the warmth and the coldness. The places of irritation and pain. The shape of the body. There is a profound worldview change that occurs when we come at our practice with wise understanding. When our model of the world actually fits the world rather than a fantasy. It's very helpful to have the four noble truths, the four ennobling truths in our back pocket. Or maybe in our front pocket. Because we likely discover there is discomfort. Maybe a lot of discomfort. Discomfort in the body, discomfort in the emotional realm. There is dukkha. We do a lot to distract ourselves, but it takes a lot to keep going. So the practice reveals to us there is some sense often that there's something not quite pleasant or right. And the meditation brings that out. It makes it clear. It also then allows the second ennobling truth to be practiced, to be known. And that is that there's a cause of any sense of suffering. And that cause is the mind's propensity to want things to be different than they are. I don't want this pain to be here. I want more pleasure. I want a sense of safety. I don't want. And so the mindfulness practice illuminates for us what happens when we pay attention to this wanting and not wanting. And sometimes And it's the direction in which we incline ourselves. Sometimes there is a sweet relief from the suffering. The pain or irritation or life circumstance may well remain exactly the same. But somehow our locus of identity, our clinging, demanding life to be a certain way, somehow just vaporizes. And then we're in the same life, in the same relationships, in the same body. And there is ease. And this comes with and further develops love and compassion. The fourth ennobling truth is the Eightfold Path. I see how this formula works. There's suffering, there's its cause, and there's its relief. And there's a way to go to practice it. And foundationally, there is being aware. Being aware of the body as it sits and breathes. And so we practice. We cultivate. Being present with in-breathing and out-breathing. Every moment offers the opportunity of being awake. With ultimate gentleness. And with a determined heart. We come home to this miracle of in-breathing and out-breathing. Thoughts happen. Sometimes the mind will wander off quite a distance. There's a whole class of thoughts that we call the past. Another class that we call the future. Sometimes it's really a great success to remember the breath every now and then. The trance of thinking, of emotions gets very powerful. one of the characteristics of mindfulness is that it remembers. What is my object, my primary training object right now? My intention is perhaps to stay with breathing, to notice all the other things that happen. If this is one of those moments when the mind is quiet, when the centrifugal forces of the five hindrances and emotions are subdued, when the mind hardly wanders at all, then we can adopt a slightly different strategy, or a very different strategy, in which we no longer are making the effort to stay with the breath. But simply realize that there is awareness, and that it can be present to the body, to a sound, to a memory, to a moment of planning, to another sound, to a breath. This is called choiceless awareness. The hypothesis of an I who is going to train the breath, train the mind, is relinquished. And then there's just life unfolding. The truth of anicca, impermanence, blazes at us. It's like a giant 50 megawatt searchlight. Everything keeps coming and going. The less there is a demand for things to be a certain way, the less dukkha there is.
Yeah, there's milk. You want them? No.
If this is a moment when there is pain in the body, from the mild discomfort of a cold foot to the irritation of an eye that feels like it has sand in it, to a chronic pain that is kind of destabilizing of everything. There is a counterintuitive strategy which is, with clarity of intention, turn toward the symptom. Turn toward the coldness, or the aching, or the itching. Take that as your object of observation, with great curiosity. Notice the reality. Embrace the reality. This is what pain is. This is what discomfort is. And notice the dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness of it. And notice the tanha, the thirst, the grasping, the way that the mind wants it to go away, the way it strikes against this object. And we do again the counterintuitive, really strange thing, which is to bring love and compassion to everything that occurs. I aspire to love and accept this that I take to be myself. In every moment of experience. I aspire to love and accept myself. And whenever there is suffering, whenever there's pain, I aspire to meet it with compassion. To be born, to inhabit a meat body, to have an earth suit. Is a huge undertaking. I aspire to bring love and compassion to this entire journey of being human. And to the best of my ability, I aspire to meet other humans, other beings of all kinds, with as much love and compassion as I can, and to grow this ability. Mm-hmm. And let us now look what we call forward in time. Look at the fantasy that is the future. Look at what's planned, what's on your calendar today. A meeting with this person. A responsibility, a phone call that I need to make. Can you imagine yourself doing it mindfully? Slowing down 5%. Just a little. That moment when you press the ignition button or insert the key in the car. Maybe imagine stopping for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. One or two breaths. Looking carefully when you back up and know it. Or driving and being very attentive to your speed. To any sense of rush. There will be eating today, most probably. Can you imagine eating mindfully, putting away your phone? Just eating. And all the way to undressing tonight, brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed. Can you imagine being mindful? And that sweet moment when your head hits the pillow and you get to let go again. Let go after a whole day of remembering time and again. Oh, this is tying my shoes. This is dealing with my parent who repeats herself endlessly. This is a moment of irritation. This is a moment of open-heartedness. Observing all this and then noticing this tonight as my teacher Tangpulu Sayadaw asked me each day of my 6 days that I was with him in Burma. He would say, Did you fall asleep? On an in-breath or an out-breath? Did you wake up on an in-breath or an out-breath? And so we undertake this remarkable day of mindfulness. And as we emerge mindfully from practice into the practice of daily life, I'd like to call to the altar of our hearts. My son Luke, whose dog Maynard died this morning. I don't know the details. I got a text actually during the meditation. Maynard's been really sick for a long time. I forget how old he is. He was a Boston Terrier. 10, 12. Not super Budo. My dog is 16. But it's a really big one for Luke. Maynard's been with him through a lot. Luke's almost 40. A lot of loss on this planet. One of the lines in this little reading that I did was, the very beginning. The real difficulty for me was mornings. Mornings were hard on Earth. You woke up more tired than when you went to sleep. Your back ached, your neck ached, your chest felt tight with anxiety that came from being mortal. We all know that we're mortal. We don't like to think about it. But it's true. Mortal. So I suppose I should do an announcement, at least one. And that might be to invite you to practice generosity. If you're not already a contributing member, so to speak, of PIMC, you could do so very easily. You could go to the website, and there's a link right on the top. Even better, go to where this class quote is advertised and make a donation through that link. That way, the people who are interested in such things can know what groups it came from, what group. But anyway, it's a practice of the heart. It's the practice of I have enough. In fact, I have more than enough. I have some discretionary capacity, and I could make a contribution to an organization that is devoted to relieving suffering. And that actually is a pretty healthy organization, and its product is human happiness. I like that. So it's a way to participate and quote belong. Way back when in 1990, when we incorporated as a non-profit in Oregon, we made a choice, which is you can't belong to. We're a non-membership organization, which is very unusual, actually. So you cannot join PIMC. You can participate. You can become a really deeply engaged member, but there's no membership. So there's no membership fees or anything like that. So it's all motivated by the movement of the heart. So I think that's all I want to say about that. Just a little reminder. And in the book, Eileen says, "Thank you, Eileen." Little shameless self-promotion. Actually, it isn't. This is a great book. It really helps people. I've really come around on it from when it first came out. The feedback I've received from a lot of people.
Robert, I'm less confused about
anything you'd like to share.
Robert can't hear me.
And just a reminder. There is a record. Oh, there's Jim. I thought you'd gone, Jim. You shifted way down on my screen. We are recording this, and if you want to say something and not have it recorded, just say that. And then I can pause the recording. So you know that. Jim is waving. Oh, you're talking. Of course, I can't hear you. Wait a minute. Nice gesture, Jim. Very good. It's like if I wiggle my fingers at him, maybe he'll notice. Hello. Oh, there you are.
Are you there?
I'm well. I don't know.
I'm less confused about the schedule today, so I want to announce that I'm not doing the Qigong workshop on the 17th, but I'm doing it on the 24th. Just this month, it's going to be shifted to another slot. The normal slot is the third Saturday, but this month it's the 24th. It's the following Saturday. So join me if you can for some mindful movement and some poetry and quiet sitting and discussion from 9 to 1 on Saturday the 24th. Thank you.
Good morning, Sangha. It's Denise.
Hello, Denise. You're indoors again.
Hi. Yeah, I wanted to be able to ask a question and see more people. On my tablet outside, I can only see a couple people at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, so my question is the mind a sense door?
Mm-hmm.
And then if the mind's a sense door, and I understand maybe or have a feeling about how to cultivate mindfulness or use the enlightenment factors or the Four Noble Truths, how does one cultivate those for your sense of smell or touch or other sense doors? Or maybe the mind's not a sense door and I'm on the wrong track.
I once asked a question just like this of Ajahn Nisaro. And I said, I'm confused. And he said, well, you're confused because it's confusing. Mind, consciousness, with all these different words that we use. So I have a diagram, but I won't go looking for it right now. Something got born. And it's extraordinarily designed to survive, to sense its environment. In fact, I went to a baseball game the other night, first time in 50 years, to watch those guys. To watch there's a line drive to the ground. It bounces once. The shortstop picks it up. He's up and he fires it off the first base. It's like bam. And I was talking with the friend I was there with. Of course we can do that because we developed the capacity to throw stones and eat. So it's very highly developed. So what do we have? We have portholes, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, kinesthetic and all that body. And they all have their appropriate objects. Right? A vibration in the air, and then there's hearing. With the sixth sense is this we'll call it mind, that receives mind objects. The past. In order for the past to exist, it has to be sensed somewhere. And so where it's sensed is there's no physical sense. It may create a physical sensation, but the actual incoming is an image or a memory or a sound. Now, so there's the sixth sense with mind objects. There's also a representation at mind of the other sense doors. Because you could imagine a smell. You could imagine a touch. We do it all the time. So yes, we think of this. We think of the sixth sense of the sixth sense doors. Some of that got hard to say. And then what I'm about to call are called the mental factors or the Chaitasikas. I won't even try to spell it. In the Theravada model, it's proposed that there's 52 mental factors. It's a good number. There's another system where there's 102. But among these mental factors, or no, let's put it this way. In any moment of consciousness, there's a collection of mental factors that arise. Boom. And among them, big among them are greed, hatred, and delusion, the five hindrances. There's also mindfulness, curiosity, the seven enlightenment factors. There's moral shame and moral dread. And they're arising incredibly fast. And there's the notion that with mindfulness there is some greater quote choice. Which mental factors shall I cultivate at the sense door mind? Which then is how shall I relate to life? And then enters love, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. Then enters the Four Noble Truths, because we begin to be able to be involved in the shaping of the next moment. Is that making sense?
Yes, yeah. I figured it would be something along those lines. And just, to me, I guess I was just struggling with, like, it seems intuitive or more clear to me how to cultivate mindfulness or awareness in my, it seems more clear in my mind versus if I'm trying to think about applying this to, like, my sense of smell.
Oh, good. I missed that part. Let's carry out a magnificent test. Please. I am now sitting with you. It's that few beautiful weeks of the year where the roses are fully in bloom. And I brought to our gathering an exquisite example of a double delight rose. It's a hybrid that's got red and white, and it smells great. It's the best of all roses in my experience. So we're sitting together, and I am now handing you the naturalist. This beautiful rose. Watch out for the prickers on it. It's got a bunch of those monsters. So take that and let your eyes close. And I invite you to breathe in just through your nose. And notice the explosion of scent. And it's that extraordinary flower. And notice that the scent is only there on the in-breath. When you breathe out through your nose, there's no rose smell. It's refreshed again quickly, but now the knowing of that, you could know, quote, I am attending, I am paying attention to the nose sense door, and I know that is happening. And not only that, I happen to like rose scent. I'm doing this example, you might hate roses, but if you like roses, you're breathing in, and there's also pleasure. So then you can notice, this is a pleasant, the valence of this, the Vedana, second foundation of mindfulness. This is pleasant. And this is all happening in the imagination. It's happening in mind. Because we can have a memory of a past rose. So that's mindfulness of smell. And when we when you walk into the kitchen, or you're out in the living room maybe, and there's the scent of toast happening. You know what it is, and we can be mindful. Oh, that's toast. I just thought of a kind of gross example, but the other day I walked into the house, and it's like there was it, and so I started sniffing. Right, we do that to get more scent. And I thought one of these dogs pooped in the house. An unpleasant, and I could be mindful of all that. And then if there was irritation about the dog, or there was worry about the dog, all of that can be objects of mindfulness. The whole reactive process. Is that making more sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think where I'm stumbling a little bit is thinking about kind of like the karmic actions, or like, you know, if I'm there's this effort, right, to maybe not improve myself, but to being mindful seems like the way to go. And like how does one I don't know, I guess I'm thinking like, if I'm trying to, maybe I improve myself is not right, but do the right things, or I'm not sure how to articulate this, that brings, you know, maybe positive karmic actions, or like by influencing my part of the web, I can do that in a way that is positive and good, maybe, or that I there will be positive karmic actions related to that. Mm-hmm. I don't see how those positive karmic actions like translate into the like everyday smelling the dog poop. Like, as if maybe there is a misguided thought that if I do it all right, that I won't smell any poop.
I see. That was the fifth ennobling truth. When there's bodies, there will be poop. And sometimes it'll be in the wrong place. But you're asking a very, I see a heartfelt and you're posing a question, a deep question to yourself. A moment of mindfulness is a very heavy, potent, life-changing karmic activity. It's the foundation of personal transformation. And we come to it with a notion of self-improvement or being a good person and so on. And those are marvelous motivations. And ultimately they fall away completely. And the understanding, the wisdom emerges that awakening is the entirety of the path. We teach and we learn the precepts sort of like rules. People for the most part treat the precepts like commandments. And at root, that's not at all what they are. At root, they are descriptions of how we behave naturally when we experience our interconnected with each other. I'm watching the very lengthy series, The Crown, on Netflix. It's a very potent series. They have time to develop the characters. And there was what for me was a very sad moment that I'm sure they didn't create it intentionally in the movie, but I saw. Of course, the Falklands quote war had to be dealt with in this movie, this series, and the British sank an Argentinian ship with a lot of young boys on it. Of course, hundreds, and there was this cheering. Our side won. And it made me so sad. The naturalness of tribe and the horrors that we perpetrate on each other because we see people as other than. So back to the precepts. When we see someone as mine or our tribe, or as we get beyond that, and we see beings as beings, then we can't violate the precepts. We just don't. Because how could I take something from myself? Why would I lie to myself? So the movement toward quote purification all rests in and supports mindfulness. Because mindfulness is a manifestation of who we really are. That was a lot of words. I hope some of them make sense to you. The seeing, Krishnamurti said, the moment of knowing is the doing. The waking is the whole path. Well, the leaf blower has begun. It's amazing how many two-stroke engines run in this neighborhood in a day. It's bizarre. The men, right? There. And interestingly, I have no idea what they look like. I've never met them. They're behind a tall fence and up a hill. He loves his leaf blower.
Hi, Robert. I have a
question.
I wanted to
hear something.
Dave Mayer.
Hi, Dave.
I just wanted to share this with you. I have another friend he's on a rabid rampage against those two-stroke engines, particularly the leaf blowers, because the harm they cause to the person using them, the amount of pollution they put out, it's just phenomenal how much pollution they put out. And there are cities across the country that are banning them. But he had a neighbor who insisted on his two-stroke engine leaf blower, and as an act of personal fulfillment and generosity, he bought a nice battery-operated leaf blower, which he gave to this neighbor as a gift to encourage him not to use the two-stroke leaf blower. So,
how did the neighbor receive the gift? Do we know?
They are still neighbors. I haven't heard him complain, but I think the message was received. But it was an interesting choice, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of refuge, we're about 3 hours. We're about to get dumped on by Tropical Storm Elsa, so I'm looking forward to finding the cabin that you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Sandy.
Hi, Joe.
Well, I was just contemplating what great companions canines are for us as we walk this path in our world. They are wonderful. They ask so little and take such great joy in just being together, being packed. And they set the bar so high on this is a way to be with others. And so thanks, Maynard. And I'm petting a pup right now, and I'm just grateful for that kind of companionship and that kind of lesson that is mirrored for me if I take the time to observe it and emulate it if I can.
Thanks, Joe. It's been it's getting loud. There's been some baby steps taken at the center. I let a fellow in yesterday too. One was the electrician who was looking at where the new lighting will go in the living room. And it's going to be kind of fancy. It's going to be 6 circles of LED lights of a very warm end of the spectrum, and on a dimmer. So the room will be able to be very bright or dim. Very nice. And also the fellow who will repair the sheetrock of the ceiling. One team will come in, and they're the asbestos folks. And they're going to take off the popcorn ceiling. And then there will be scars in the sheetrock. So they'll come in. And then I saw Misha earlier. Mish will. Oh, there she is. Hi, Mish. Mish will paint it beautifully. And then there'll be carpet, and then we'll be open in early October. That's the plan. It's actually moving forward. This whole project reminds me. When I was a kid, we had a great board game. It was called Snakes and Ladders or Shoots and Ladders, and you could be winning. You could be yay! Right. You're up on you're three squares from the end, and you have to get a 3 to get out, as I recall. But then you get a 2, and there's a snake that goes right to the bottom, and it's like you have to start over completely. That's what it's like getting the report back from the city. It says, "Oh, we just discovered this." Well, my friends, my son is calling. I think I'd like to go talk to him. Let us close. Anybody sitting with anything that's strong right now? So let's close with the traditional fashion from Ruth Dennison. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. May all beings receive all blessings. And sadhu, may it be thus, or it is thus. I'm going to take these off so I don't hear myself. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a lovely day, dear friends. May mindfulness be with us all the time.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. You're a treasure.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Really strengthening. Yeah, we're lucky.
Indeed. I hope that your son has. I hope that.
I lost your sound, Denise.
You can be there for.
I can certainly be here for him. It's a big one for sure. Goodbye, Tamara. All right. Ready for the leap to hyperspace. Goodbye, dear friends on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for being here.